on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC reality check-in. You never see my pretty face, so I have to tell you I'm not alone. Guapo, what's up, buddy?
Ultimate Senator Guapo is back again, and that's right, today we're talking about AEW All Out.
It should be called AEW All Weekend with the length of this card.
What is this, a WWE show?
No.
No. This is a original ROH line.
No. Well, okay, we never previewed original ROH on this channel. Come on, we have standards. Kind of, sort of, maybe, perhaps.
What channel are you listening to?
I'm listening to lots of channels. I'm talking on my own.
Okay.
Ew. So, not that we don't have enough to talk about with 14 fucking matches. A couple other things I want to touch on quickly, first of all. People coming, people going. Bobby Fish is out.
Allegedly,
but it's not a firing for those people that have been reporting it. AKA, yes, we're talking about What Culture. It's not a firing. It's not a quitting. It's just apparently he was only there for a year and there's just no renewal, which is fair. I mean, the comparison that people draw between AEW and WWE is like WWE let go of a fuck ton of people. And when AEW's lost people, there's either a really good reason or they just let the contract expire, which is a fair point. Like, that's two very different things. They haven't really done much with the Undisputed. I mean, they've given Adam Cole the Owen Hart championship, but other than that, can you really realistically name anything that any three of those three guys has done in the company?
Yeah.
And I like these guys. Like, we know how I feel about the Undisputed Era, but, like, what have they done?
Really nothing.
Alright. The other one that I find a little bit more interesting, considering he's featured on the card tonight, is the rumor, and it is more of a rumor, I should say, that apparently Malachi Black is pursuing a release or a cancellation of his contract or whatever. I have no context for this. I have no, okay, he wants out because of, creative stuff, or he wants out because of, issues backstage, and there are a lot of issues backstage. We're going to address that later on in the pod. Malachi Black's a weird one, because he is pretty prominently featured on the show.
Right.
So
Malachi Black, I haven't seen anything really on, except for maybe 20 minutes ago I saw something. But Bobby Fish, I said it earlier today in a different group, I think it's a work. I don't see Undisputed Era or Undisputed Elite, whatever the fuck they want to call themselves right now.
Yeah.
I don't see that splitting up anytime soon. Cole as well as O'Reilly signed a 5-year contract, so I don't see it happening.
But am I wrong in thinking that of the three of them, Bobby Fish is a significant amount older? Like, that could be a contributing factor.
Yeah, I mean, definitely could.
If he's older and his contract being up is his performer's contract, and he wants to switch to more of a backstage role, like a Christopher Daniels type of idea, that wouldn't be completely out of pocket. Most recently, I think one of the coolest things that they've done is sign on Madison Rayne sort of as a player and a coach, which, I mean, you could do worse.
Yeah.
You could do a lot worse, and Madison Rayne, from her days as the third member of the Beautiful People in old school TNA, consecutively underrated as a performer. And the fact that she split up her tag team with Tennille Dashwood, and Tennille Dashwood is rumored to go over to Triple H's WWE, I think it's cool to see both of them on bigger stages. And that's that's absolutely not a dig at Impact, because I'm still enjoying Impact, but
as far as age-wise, Fish is 45, O'Reilly's 35, and Cole is 33. So
yeah, he's the older guy. He's the Kofi Kingston of that group. Yes. Which is let me be clear too. If we sound like we're being sarcastic, we're not. it might just be a simple case of like he's at a different part in his career or at a part in his career where he wants to contribute something different.
Correct.
Like, I mean, as a coach, the guy would probably be invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Impact, look at that transition. It's almost like I planned it. W. Morrissey back in AEW. Again, another guy, like, his recovery story from, like, leaving WWE to going down a really bad health path to coming back and sort of being reborn on Impact and now twice being featured in AEW. Like, even if you're not a fan of the guy, you got to be sort of, like, proud of him in, like, the fan context.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he's going to be there as a permanent thing in a company that, like, has monster guys but doesn't really focus on monster guys other than Wardlow, I think he could find himself a pretty unique spot. Like, if he went to WWE, and I'll say this, like, I'm enjoying current Triple H WWE, but if he went to WWE right now, he'd be another big guy.
True.
Like, they would put him next to Drew McIntyre and be like, look, they're both tall. Like, that would be a thing, right?
Yeah.
But him coming back, really cool. He got the business card, from Stokely. So that's fun. I like Stokely Hathaway. I liked Malcolm Bivens when he was in NXT as well. The group that he founded in NXT is still sort of struggling along. For those of you that are listening to this now, go back to the very last podcast, because dropping just before this podcast will be my previews for NXT Worlds Collide and WWE Clash at the Castle, where the Diamond Mine does feature prominently in one of the amalgamation, whatever you want to call them, matches. So enough self-promotion. We'll get back to the point that I'm making. Mm-hmm. I like Morrissey if we get the graphic of, W. Morrissey is All Elite. I love his new entrance music. His new entrance music was badass. Stokely Hathaway and him, like, Stokely being, like, not exactly the biggest guy, like, with a monster behind him. Very, very cool aesthetic. But we've got this story right now, and I want to pick your brain on it for just a second, and then we're going to get into the card, where Stokely Hathaway is definitely building himself a stable.
Yes.
Right? Like, he's not exactly Bobby Heenan, but I think he's trying to be Bobby Heenan. But, okay, Guapo.
Yes.
Lee Moriarty.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Page.
Yeah.
The Gun Club.
Yeah.
Jobber Cargill and the Baddies.
Yeah.
And W. Morrissey. What is this group? Other than Jade Cargill, I'm not taking away from any of the other talents in that list, because Jade Cargill can fuck off. But look at that collection of people. What is this group?
I'm 100% here with you. I don't know. It's a mismatch, a menagerie of just...
I will say W. Morrissey and the Gun Club going for the trios titles would be hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they're not small dudes by any stretch of the imagination. They're Billy Gunn's kids.
Well,
like, he could pick
Austin's small.
He could pick them both up by the scruff of the neck and carry them to the ring, and that could be their entrance.
Right.
Okay. So that group is weird. Morrissey's in. That's cool. Black and Fish are potentially out. Kayfabe or not so great. Do we want to talk about the crowd in Chicago and the person that, had a baby?
You mean the person
Simba moment?
Giving up their child for sacrifice?
For the straight edge society?
Yeah.
Kid's already bald, it's fine.
It's perfect.
Okay, now I want to touch on one thing, and it is, put my sarcasm aside for a second. Enjoying AEW, this is why we're having a good time right now. I do want to touch on one thing. We know Tony Khan loves a good work shoot, right?
Yeah.
I do find it, and this is me who will normally say, hey, any story is a good story, don't limit your creativity, whatever. But at a time where there's so many stories about people being pissed off backstage, why do you send the wingmen out there to the ring to be pissed off wrestlers? And
because they serve the purpose
these two things are going to go hand in hand.
Okay.
And at a time where your roster is suffering from so many injuries, why would you have one pay-per-view with two prominent injury storylines? Like, you can do it. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of this, hey, there's a little bit of disorder in the back right now. Let's do a bunch of stuff that could rub people the wrong way. Not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying there's a lot of it. You got pissed off people backstage, so you put pissed off people in the ring. The sort of the message behind that to me is like, okay, you got a bunch of jobber heels in the ring playing the role of pissed off people, right? So is that how you see your stars backstage who are pissed off right now? Like, that's not exactly a cool message. And injury angles are always a thing. I'm not pretending that Tony Khan's reinventing the wheel when it comes to that, but to have two prominent ones in your main event and your brand new title situation, when there are so many real life injuries plaguing this roster right now, might not be the move. I'm not criticizing. I'm not saying like Tony Khan's terrible for doing it. I'm just saying if I was in his shoes, which I'm not because he probably wears really dorky shoes, it's not something I would do. At least not this much. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be playing up the injuries angles because, I mean, it looks bad right now with the amount of injuries that's happening. I mean, I agree with you.
I mean, we have yet another, and I'm not singling out one person specifically because there's been a bunch of injuries across the board. A bunch of people have just come back as well, so there is a silver lining to that story. But you have a brand new interim title situation on this show because somebody just had to leave with injury.
And that is where my gripe is.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to that when we get to that, but I'm saying like overall as a scope, like you're writing a lot of negative situations into your fiction that are happening for real.
Yeah.
Like it sounds right now, and I'm sorry, this isn't even a WWE versus AEW thing anymore because that conversation isn't nearly as much fun as it used to be. But it does sort of underline it when everybody on the other side seems to have this like brand new, reinvigorated hope pushing forward, etc. And this other brand new place that was supposed to be the promised land seems like it's falling apart before its biggest night of the year. Like,
right.
It can't feel good to be in a bad spot where the other place across the line that you spent so long saying, hey, at least we're not them, seems to be having a good time right now. Now, they're not perfect. So people don't shit in my friggin' bed like an Amber Heard nightmare. I'm not saying WWE is perfect either, by any stretch of the imagination. But it just seems like they have not a renewed loyalty to WWE, because that's not what you go for, but it seems like they have a renewed faith in whatever direction they're going. And this side, at the time where, like, this should be their WrestleMania weekend. Like, this should be the best weekend of their year, because I think it's pretty safe to say All Out is their WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of between All Out and Double or Nothing, so.
Yeah, well, the way I figure it, like, All Out always harkens back to All In, and All In was the one pay-per-view whose success basically sprung forward this company. So I think, sentimentally at least, it's got to be their WrestleMania. And I mean, we're going to get into the card. Now, the card, while it has its issues, is fucking stacked. Like, there's not too many people missing from this card other than people who literally physically can't be on it.
Right.
And yeah, there's individual stories that I'm going to touch on when we get to the appropriate matches. So I might as well jump in. There's 3 matches on the kickoff. So you're getting your money's worth in the kickoff, even though you don't pay for the kickoff, so that really doesn't make any sense. It's fine, don't worry about it. I'm going to say this right off the bat, because my biases are what they are, and I'm not going to pretend to like people that I've completely fallen off of. Why the fuck does Eddie Kingston have a match on this card?
Because he did the actual human and good person thing of actually apologizing and saying he fucked up.
Okay. I'll buy that. My opinion of Eddie Kingston notwithstanding, I will buy that, even though I don't necessarily buy his apology, but that's for me to have my opinion and everybody else to have their own opinion. Not going to push it like that.
Right.
Even if he apologizes, okay, you deck somebody, or I deck you, right? We're supposed to have a match on a card. I deck you. I apologize. You lose your spot on the card.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that make sense?
I don't know.
And the thing is, like, I should say, it's Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. Now, Eddie Kingston, if I still had the opinion of Eddie Kingston I had, like, what would we say, like 6 months ago, when I was pushing for him and Mox to be the tag team champions, I'd be all up for this match. I would be the guy pounding his hand on the desk saying, "Hey, why is this on the kickoff?" But
Right.
the guy's a weirdo, and like, violence is okay because I apologized for it. And I mean, we know where he sits politically, so that's not exactly surprising. But why the fuck is this guy? And Tomohiro Ishii should be a spectacle. Why is Tomohiro Ishii wasting his time with Eddie Kingston, and why have they put Tomohiro Ishii on the kickoff? Makes no sense.
I agree.
I am going to lean on you for the information because apparently this is a rematch from something else because they're calling it Ishii Kingston 2 right on the graphic.
My guess is it was had to been something from New Japan, or I'm not sure exactly because I don't know when they fought before.
Okay, so for how little I care about it, I'm going to say whoever won that one is going to lose this one.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. Like, the only thing I can really say from this one is I like Tomohiro Ishii. The little bit that I know of him from being on AEW and Impact shows. So any chance to see him wrestle is awesome. I wish he was literally fighting anybody else. We're not getting the Pac match that I wanted. I mean, Big Cass is in AEW. We could have a rematch of Neville versus Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship, but different company, different time. We are getting, for the entirely useless All-Atlantic Championship, we are getting Pac versus the guy in the box, Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
And again, Guapo, I'm throwing this over to you. What the fuck is this?
This is a lot of dark elevation. I'm not sure. There's backstory there somewhere, but
the backstory is he's been in a box.
I will quote one of my friends from another group. Pac started his AEW career by beating Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page.
And now he's literally carrying the title that pissed people off.
And hasn't done shit with it.
To be fair, I do like what they've done with it. They've sent him and that title around to other companies to represent AEW and just to, like, have a title to do so. I think that as a concept is awesome. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to, like, unless, okay, check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list nice and early. If Pac comes to Destiny.
Oh, Destiny. What's Destiny, Spaz?
Let's check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list. It's fine. Well, Destiny is where I got to meet Killer Kelly a couple weeks ago, and that was fun. And I'm not going to Dynamite in Toronto because friggin' Toronto fans are getting absolutely ripped off by AEW for their tickets.
Scalpers. I saw a bulletin on what fucking there was a Facebook group. Cult of Kayfabe. Somebody else from the Great White North had said, a bunch of scalpers got into the ticket sales first and bought everything. So that's why your ticket prices are what it is.
Yeah. I don't even care. I'm not paying triple-digit prices for nosebleed seats in the venue that WWE does their house shows in for $40.
I agree.
No, but what I was going to say, the reason I brought up Destiny just as an example, Pac with this title could come to Destiny, and right now our mid-card champion, our Destiny Next Generation champion, is Aiden Prince, who's really fucking awesome and should be featured on more shows. But as an exhibition, if you wanted to see, like, the AEW All-Atlantic champion Pac versus the Destiny Next Generation champion Aiden Prince, having a title specifically for that purpose, I think is awesome. The problem with that is, while it's out there serving its purpose there, it's not happening on AEW programming. And just because Pac is over there with this extra title isn't going to make me go watch a whole other brand. So when they do their little updates, their little video packages of like, oh yeah, Pac was over in, like, let's say China, representing AEW, defending his title against random Chinese wrestler number 5. I will watch the video package, and I'll be like, okay, that's really cool for the company to go out there and represent themselves that way. It's a really unique idea as far as mainstream North American wrestling. It just doesn't help AEW itself. Like, him being away, I think what I'm trying to say is him being away with that title does more than him being on the AEW show.
Yeah, I can see that.
But also, like, on the night that they announced that this title was happening, everybody thought that they were getting the Trios Championship announcement that night. So this was literally the title that pissed everybody off.
Yes.
But hey, at least this title's being defended on the show. More on that later. Pac's going to win. Kip Sabian is weird and looks like he might have children in his basement.
Most probably.
Character-wise, let me just say character-wise, I'm not talking about the actual person. Everybody calm the fuck down.
Oh, he's talking about the actual person.
His better half is really nice to look at, though.
I mean, you're not wrong.
As Guapo looks around to make sure nobody's listening.
It's okay. She's in an entirely other room. I'm good.
You're safe.
I'm safe.
Definitely won't send her the podcast. Third match. I hate to say this once again, but another person I kind of wish was on the show because it looks like they're just starting to put the actual rocket on him rather than just him being a random cool guy, is Hook defending the FTW title.
Yep.
Against Angelo Parker. The only thing that bums me out about this is there was a rumor going around that it was going to be Hook defending against both members of 2.0 in a handicap title match. And I thought that would have been fun. It would have been something a little different for him to do, like watch him throw both of them around. And they're comedy gold, so they would bump around for him like a million. They would be AEW Dolph Zigglers for Hook. And that would have been a lot of fun.
100%.
But Cool Hand Ange, obviously that means... what the fuck's his name? God damn it. Fine, I'm just going to say Daddy Magic. Matt Menard is going to be on the outside, which means he's just going to be shouting stuff, and it's going to be awesome. There's no chance in hell that Hook is losing.
Hook's not losing that FTW title anytime soon.
No, like, it's his dad's title. Like, you might as well just make it part of his ring gear.
Right, exactly.
Like, they've officially gone from it being Taz's title to it being, like, a family legacy title.
It's not Taz's title. That's Hook's title.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, the fact that, like, title finally went from father to son, and now you can consider it a legacy title, even though it's not a quote-unquote recognized title, is a really nice, cool sort of thing to exist in its own bubble within wrestling. I actually don't think I've ever got your opinion on, like, the sort of, like, the three-part story that we had of, like, Ricky Starks defending the FTW title, Hook comes out and accepts, Hook wins the title, Powerhouse Hobbs basically comes and kicks him while he's down, and they split up, and Taz on commentary...
Good shit, Mackle.
Taz on commentary is basically like, fuck it, you guys ain't getting along, I haven't heard from any of you, there is no Team Taz anymore. Like,
Team Taz is dead.
There wasn't even, like, anything, like, there wasn't a scuffle, there wasn't anything, it was just, yeah. I like it. I mean, Ricky Starks is a star, we're going to talk about that later on. Hook is also a star. 2.0, as good wrestlers as they are also great comedy, so they're going to do exactly what they need to do in this match, as plain as that sounds, and Hook's keeping the FTW title. Well, look at that. We're 3 matches in already. We're rocking through this.
There we go.
In one of our many WWE matches of the night, we're going to have JR and Taz on commentary while while Daniel Bryan and Y2J fight in a singles match.
Yep.
It's not quite as WWE as Daniel Bryan versus Jack Swagger with Chris Jericho, William Regal, Taz, and Jim Ross on commentary.
Hey, that's just great free TV there, Spaz.
Hey, it's better than some of the free TV we got last week. Get there when we get there. But in all seriousness, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho, it's just going to be good. Like, there's no other thing. I mean, there is the what do you call him? Daniel Garcia, like wild card element of this. But even if that wasn't a thing, just hey, would you go to a show with no context whatsoever and just say, hey, the main event is Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho? Like, that's an indicator of a good show.
Yes.
They're leaning on the heart stuff way too much. I find that a bit weird. That's a little unnecessary, but I mean, Chris Jericho's timeless and Bryan Danielson's having the time of his life, and my prediction, Bryan Danielson wins with Daniel Garcia's help after the Jericho Appreciation Society tries to help Chris Jericho, and we solidify Garcia going into the Blackpool Combat Club.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with all of that. And then Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, go for the tag team titles. It's a thing. Don't worry about it. It's like, what was the other one? I can't think of it now. There was another set of names where they all just kind of went together. I can't think of it now. It's tired in here.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to let you go with this one. Tony Storm versus Britt Baker, DMD versus Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida for the interim, they love that word, AEW Women's World Championship.
Spaz, you remember when I told you there's a match on this card that I have a very strong opinion about?
Uh-huh, and then I mentioned interim, and then you're like, that's the one I want to talk about?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I remember that. I think everybody was listening when we said that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This interim bullshit is the stupidest fucking thing ever. I understand the very first time they did it, whenever they did the interim
TNT
championship, because Cody was going to be out for, I think it was like 2 months. Whenever he got kayfabe actually hurt, I think he had messed up something with his shoulder or whatever it was, and plus he was going to go film for another month doing the Go Big Show.
That's the only time he ever really lost, was when he needed to go film some TV and then immediately come back and immediately kill people.
Film TV / kayfabe actually get some work done because he fucked up something.
Right. But think about when Brody Lee, rest in peace and all that kind of thing. But think about when Brody Lee destroyed him, and they wrote him off TV with the ugly, unfinished TNT title in the bag and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Brody Lee got a big win. Brody Lee was a monster. We miss him. It is what it is. And then he immediately came back, and it's just like, okay, it's like that last loss didn't happen because you can so sweep it under the rug of reality. It's like, well, he didn't really lose. He just had to go do some other stuff for a while. If that's the narrative, then the loss doesn't mean anything. And this is supposed to be the company where wins and losses matter.
So anyway,
fuck Michael Sidgwick.
The initial time that they did the interim champion, it was okay. Yeah. I understood why, because it was literally a placeholder to still have champion on TV. Yep. We knew Cody was coming back sooner rather than later.
And also, additionally, I will say the benefit of that one is you had a super arrogant character like Sammy Guevara who would do something arrogant like carry around 2 belts.
Correct. And
it worked. It has to work situationally. You can't say, oh, don't do it, or you can't say do it. You have to do it in situations where it works. It can't be a blanket solution. Yeah. I think is what you're going for anyways.
Yeah, going forward. We have Punk get hurt. Interim champion Jon Moxley. I understand it to a certain point. However, it got old very quickly. Now, we're going to end up having an interim women's champion because Thunder Rosa got some bitch mad or whatever the fuck it is and got sandbagged and now she's hurt or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
Also, not cool that she's so nervous in the back that she's hiding in bathrooms and shit.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, anyways,
I'm so tired. Just drop the title. If
Yep.
you are going to be out longer than a month, drop the title. Drop it. Like,
Yep.
there's no reason not to.
And I understand,
Drop
like, I understand them being hopeful about it. Like,
Oh, I understand too.
maybe she will only be out a couple of weeks, but as soon as you realize that that's not the case, you have to readdress it. You have to sort of
Yes.
correlate your interim title holder as the actual title holder, and then flip it from, okay, you're going to come back and you're still going to be the champion, to, okay, when you come back, you'll have the first title shot.
Yes.
Very easy. Because right now, the way I see it,
you do it that way. You do it to where, okay, obviously you're going to be out longer than we think, so let's just do this. Let's bring you on TV because you can at least talk.
Yep.
Have you relinquished a title with the contingency of when you come back, you have a number one contender title shot, no matter who's in the number one contendership slot.
Yep. Because the way I see it is, and I don't mind it because I do think it's kind of a cool concept. When COVID, I'm going to go to old school NXT for a second. When COVID hit, and WWE had to, obviously do their empty arena shit, right? Whatever. The NXT Cruiserweight Champion was Jordan Devlin, and he was stuck in the UK, so he couldn't defend his title. And they made an interim title for that, and that was nothing to do with him being injured. That was nothing to do with him, being in any kind of trouble. It was just like, you're trapped on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And they did a really cool thing in that case, where he was defending his title over in the UK, and we established one here. And then you truly had two champions bring the titles back together.
Yes.
I thought that was because it wasn't an injury, both of them could call themselves champions. And then, okay, once we can cross the streams again, I think it was, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think it was Jordan Devlin versus Santos Escobar.
Yes, it was.
It was in a ladder match, because the ladder match was announced by Shawn Michaels by just chucking a ladder at them and said, hey, why don't you do a me and Razor thing. My problem with it is they had Moxley win, and we're going to get to the Moxley match later. So I'm not diving into that match just yet, because we got a lot to say with that.
Yeah.
With the way they've treated the interim title since then, is they put the belt on Moxley, and because Moxley has to have all this like machismo and whatever, he had to go around and constantly insist that it was the real title, and fuck your interim and all this type of thing, right? Whereas as an audience, you're like, well, it's not, because you didn't beat the champion.
Yep.
Which leads to my take on it. It doesn't bug me as much as it obviously bugs you, and as much as it bugs a couple of other people. But the way they present it, it really is just like, because AEW is the company with the ranking system. If you have an interim title, you basically are wearing a number one contendership around your waist.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you can't then come out and have somebody say, no, I'm the real champion. The only other thing I do want to say about this, the backstage stuff with people like harassing Thunder Rosa into a fucking bathroom is terrible, because Thunder Rosa, by all accounts, and accounts are varied, but she seems like a pretty badass chick. Mm-hmm. And so, you genuinely want, I'm biased. I saw all the stuff that she's done with Simon Miller, and Simon Miller's good to everybody. But, the two of them together just seem like they're having a good time. He came back to Texas, I think, over the past month or so.
Yeah, in Texas.
Doing some stuff for her promotion. Right? Something I want to say, and you can get tired really quickly in wrestling having conversations about equality and does this group get represented and does that group get represented, right? And people are crying a whole lot that CM Punk got to go out and make a 5-minute speech in the ring about being injured and, hey, I'll be back soon, rah. And Thunder Rosa, when she was in a very similar situation, got 2 seconds backstage with Tony Schiavone. There's a logical reason for that, and a sort of I'm going to be a dickhead reason for that. If you saw her backstage thing with Tony Schiavone, she didn't look like she was holding together so well. So part of me thinks, okay, that's as much as she felt comfortable doing. The other side, the colder side of that is, much as I love Thunder Rosa, I think she's great. You told me about her before I saw her, and you were right, again, because you're
Yeah,
Guapo, and Guapo's always right.
this is true.
There's no way to say this that doesn't make me sound like an asshole, but Thunder Rosa is not CM Punk.
No, not even close.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't want her to be CM Punk. I want Thunder Rosa to be Thunder Rosa. But you're not going to exaggerate to the point of, oh my god, Thunder Rosa's carrying the entire company on her back. Like, that's just not the case. I don't think
Correct.
anybody should have that. Like, the way we look at champions as, oh, if the pay-per-view failed, the champion must not be good, is so dated and ridiculous anyway. But also, I go back to the original thing of her backstage with Tony Schiavone, and she was already, like, shaken. Like, I don't want to say, oh my god, she was breaking down or nothing like that, because that's not the case. But she was already visibly shaken, just being backstage and making the announcement with Tony Schiavone right there with her. Maybe she didn't want to go out to the ring. Maybe she didn't want to, like, potentially break down and start crying in front of an arena full of people. Like,
Right.
am I off the mark with that?
No.
Okay. So now that we've analyzed the Thunder Rosa thing to death, considering she's not on the show, this has got to be Toni Storm, right?
Honestly, I think it's going to be. I want it to be Tony, but, and this is a big but, I think if AEW learns from their mistakes with interim title, especially the last one, you put it on a fucking heel. And you give it to Britt. Don't give it to Tony because if Tony was supposed to win the title at this show against Thunder Rosa, then that's what she should be doing.
Like, let her have that moment beating the actual champion.
Beating the champion, not winning the interim title.
I can get behind that. I absolutely can. I just think, like, if Jamie Hayter wins,
It's not gonna be Hayter.
no. But I'm just saying, I'm going through the names, right? Like, I'm sorry, but Hikaru Shida is just somebody they throw in there now when they need to make up numbers for a multi-person match, which is terrible. But that's sort of where we're at with Hikaru Shida. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's because she's wrestling elsewhere. I don't know where else she does stuff, but, like, she's not a constant in AEW programming whatsoever. Jamie Hayter, if Jamie Hayter were to win, then the story would be her breaking up with Britt Baker. The story wouldn't be the title, which is kind of weird. Britt Baker just feels like, we need somebody to hold on to it for a minute, and we know Britt Baker's good, so let's just give her another one. Like, it feels like, as much as, you and I have talked a lot about how Britt Baker is sort of like the face of that division.
Right.
Like, she's the face of the women's division, even if she doesn't have the title. She's got, like, that Becky Lynch, that Charlotte Flair type of, I lead this division whether I'm the champion or not.
Yeah.
So therefore you don't need to do it, especially as, like, a temporary move. I think with the way that Thunder Rosa wished Toni Storm good luck and how they were a team and all that sort of thing, to have them come in a respectful competition later on when Thunder Rosa comes back and have a face versus face mutual respect. Thunder Rosa passes the torch to Toni Storm later on down the line to galvanize her as the champion. I think you could tell a really good story there. It's not the most ideal way to get there, but Toni Storm needs something. And not that I really want to say anything too bad, but the ones that have come across from WWE, Toni Storm, Ruby Soho, Athena, etc., none of them in the ladies division, which struggles in general, none of them have really hit any heights yet. Like, Ruby Soho came in, got the huge pop, and now she's doing mixed tags with Ortiz on Rampage. Not great.
Yeah.
Athena has a match we're going to talk about later on, but how much has really been put into that?
Oh, I really hope a lot.
No, I'm saying, like, leading into the match, how much has she really gotten? She's gotten She's had more tag team matches than singles matches, which is disappointing. And I'm not counting Dark or Dark Elevation because a wrestling company shouldn't give you homework.
Right.
But if you want to maintain AEW as like the promised land that it was when it started, and you don't want people to start looking the other way, you might want to say, hey, switching teams will actually benefit you.
Right.
And I'm not saying strap up every WWE superstar. I mean, they already did that with their men's world title. Moving swiftly on. Okay, here's something for you. We have a trios championship to establish later on in the night, right? Trios titles, brand new thing, right? Would you not then want that to be the only trios match on the card so that it could feel different and so that it could feel special?
Nah.
Okay.
Let's just add 4 of them.
House of Black versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they need to put all the dark characters in one match.
I'm all good for that. I love dark characters. But see, House of Black is cool, Darby Allin's cool, Sting's cool. Miro is just weird. Miro is not a dark character. Miro is just weird. All the mostly valid criticism that WWE got for leaning a little too hard into cult leader Bray Wyatt, just sitting in the back room and spouting some nonsense, and then going out and having his actual match and it being fine. Aleister Black, when he was doing the Dark Father stuff, and sitting in the room and pick a fight with me, all that, and they leaned into it way too hard. 100% they're doing that with Miro right now, and his weird, like, I'm fighting with God, and that's why I have to fight these like, fuck off. I'm sorry. I like Miro. I like Darby. I like Sting. I like the House of Black. This match can fuck off. It's going to be good, too, which is annoying. Miro versus Brody King. Those portions of the match are going to be awesome. Darby Allin versus Buddy Matthews. Those parts of the match are going to be awesome. Malachi Black versus Sting is just going to be, oh, look, we've smudged Sting's face paint a little. Like, it bothers me that, like, equal parts, this match is going to be a lot of fun, but also this match can fuck off, and this match, for all the stuff that they've done on Dynamite recently that they could have saved for pay-per-view, that we're going to talk about later, this match could go on Dynamite.
It could. However, there's one thing.
What's that?
We get a debut in this match.
Do we?
Yeah.
Of who?
CJ.
Is that what they're doing?
Because, Julia Hart's going to end up interfering. So.
Oh my god.
We're going to get CJ finally.
Oh my god. Oh.
At least I hope.
Oh my god.
I'm okay with it.
Discount Judgment Day can... Oh... Especially if the rumors are true that Malachi Black's asked for his release. Like, what are we doing? Like, do they do the House of Black without Black? Do you just have Brody King and Buddy Matthews? And actually, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, Julia Hart could still be a decent faction, but it's still very strange.
I still don't see Malachi leaving, but also in the same token, I know he is a very much a Triple H guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, I will say, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Julia Blackheart versus Jericho, Sammy, and Tay Conte would be a lot of fun.
Tay Mello.
Sorry, yeah, that's true. Tay Mello, my bad. Of any name change in any company, that's the one that I can actually sign on and be like, that makes 100% sense.
Yes. Of why she got her name changed.
It doesn't help that she's been Conte in 2 different companies, though. For me. I'm not saying for her. I'm saying, like, for me remembering it.
Yeah.
Like, she went from Taynara to Tay, but kept the Conte, and now she's Tay Mello. And I don't know why they didn't just do Tay Guevara. But
right.
That could be a thing. And they're still the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships. But they don't get a spot on this card because Eddie Kingston probably cried in the back. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Moving on.
God.
Dude, make it make sense.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Okay, coming up next. See, this is the thing. I said this to you the other night after. Okay, for all intents and purposes, we are recording this on Thursday night. I said this to you last night after Dynamite. Is it fair for me to say that this show is an absolute dumpster fire that I am looking forward to?
100%. It's a dumpster fire rolling down a hill, and it's about to hit a car.
That I'm looking forward to, though.
Exactly.
Because I'll be watching this after watching 3 hours of NXT and after watching Clash at the Castle the night before. A lot of wrestling this weekend. If you guys haven't figured it out by my previous podcast and this one, it's fine. Match number 7. Let's fucking go. Athena saves that title from the purgatory that is Jade Cargill's shoulder. Yes?
Yes. Moving on.
Okay. Jungle Boy versus I don't want to waste my time talking about Jade Cargill.
I don't need to talk about it. Athena wins. I'm tired of Jade Cargill being on my TV.
It's because she's useless.
Okay. This is my one and only point I will make about this match right now.
Her sidekicks are better than her.
Yes, but Jade Cargill, from the time she started to now, she has gotten a lot better. However, with that being said, she should not have a title around her waist right now. She should not be a champion. She should still be grinding on Dark or whatever the fuck it is.
Sorry, I'm a bad person.
Yes, you are. I realized what I said there, and yeah. Anyway.
Although, don't forget, this is the match where I get called racist because I think Athena should beat Jade Cargill. It's legit happening. It's the Ember Moon Naomi thing all over again.
Somebody tag me in the tweet because I just want to laugh.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'll find it.
Yeah, I don't mind Jade. She's gotten 1,000 times better, but
okay, but 1,000 times 0 is still 0.
You're not fucking wrong.
But no, like I'm saying this in all sincerity, right? Like you start wrestling. If you get better, eventually you get put in a title shot. You don't put a belt on somebody and think, hey, maybe one day they'll get better. I'm applying that to everybody. I'm not saying even whether I like you or not.
Yeah.
Right? Like, friggin', okay, Shotzi Blackheart, that I first saw at Destiny. Check off your Spaz Unit's bucket list. When she debuted in NXT, I'm like, okay, cool, she's here. Put a belt on her right now. No? Because there's no journey then. Now, I get that it's a little bit different because it's a mid-card title, which mainstream North American wrestling isn't really used to for the women's division. So it is a building block, but it's not a building block if you get it handed to you. In like her first 10 matches?
Yeah, pretty much.
And just like she's not good. And I'm sorry. When you build a faction, right? When you build a faction, Shawn Michaels started DX and had a bunch of other, talents that were becoming great around him. Triple H went on to save wrestling. It's fine, don't worry about it. And then who had? It was Triple H. Triple H and Ric Flair had Evolution, and they brought in the next talents in Randy Orton and Batista, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Her sidekicks are better than her. It took me a long time to warm up to Red Velvet.
And she knows it.
Oh my God.
We'll get there too later.
We will get there because I think you and I are going to put him in two different spots.
Yeah.
But Kira Hogan was in Impact, and she was in Fire and Flavor with Tasha Steelz. And I'm sorry, like, no disrespect to Tasha Steelz, but Kira Hogan was the better member of that tag team. And then when she got signed to AEW, I was like, fucking sweet. And then they put her with Jade Cargill, and I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, she's not, like, fantastic. Like, she's not 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome, brother. But, like, she's good, and her character work is awesome, and her character work is a hell of a lot more natural than Jade Cargill every 5 minutes. Oh, can I hit my catchphrase button? Tony, cut the shit. Tony, cut the shit. Tony, cut the shit. Like, fuck off. She needs to fuck off. She needs to fuck all the way off and not have a belt.
Moving on to the next match.
No, but I'm gonna flip it because I am gonna throw the positive side on here. Because Athena, also ridiculously underutilized in WWE,
Yeah.
So my thing for wanting something great for her, like, extends way back before she was even in AEW. So am I incredibly biased? Do I think this woman is incredibly underutilized, incredibly underrated, incredibly underrecognized, and deserves a belt on her shoulder a hell of a lot more than Jobber Cargill? Yes. So Athena has to win. Athena has to win. Unless there's, like, interference from Lee Moriarty and Ethan Page and the Baddies and the Gun Club and W. Morrissey. But then there's a little part of me that kind of wants to see Athena hit an eclipse on W. Morrissey.
I mean, I'm for it.
Yeah. W.
And
Morrissey.
up next, we have the grudge match from hell. The your dad's dead, your wife left you. People's
in
moms
both
call
cases, they can call me.
Right, exactly.
I actually like this match. I like what we've got.
So I'm almost. This is probably like the second or third match I'm looking forward to most of this show.
I wouldn't go that far. It's like for me it's like the Danielson Jericho match. They're not why I'm tuning in for the show, but they are matches that I can just count on being really good. And I hope that makes sense. That people again realize that I'm not putting anybody down in that scenario. They're not the headline matches.
No,
but they are the matches that I can count on to fill out the card and be good and make this show worth being, like, what is it going to be, 6 fucking hours or something.
Yeah.
I like what we got in the interim here too with the darker version. Even though he didn't really turn heel, we've got this weird darker version of Luchasaurus who really hasn't been out there in the past couple of weeks. I like the whole you're not facing Jungle Boy on Sunday, you're facing Jack Perry, which is something that people do all the time when they do the shoot names, and it adds more intensity. Rah. My only criticism, and I've said, I think I said to you before I started, or I might have said it at the beginning of the recording. Every match on here has something good about. I mean, except Jade Cargill, obviously. Every match on this card has a lot of awesome shit, and then a little like yeah, but at the end. The only thing that this match has going against it is I feel like we were ready for it to happen 2 weeks ago. Like, it's been stretched out a little bit.
It's been a really good build, but yeah, I agree. It's.
But that's such a minor criticism compared to some of the other things that are going on in this company right now. I will say, once again,
all
and yes,
things considered, it's been a good build.
It's definitely been a good build, and it was genuine because they were a unit for a long time. It wasn't like they made them a team 1 week and broke them up 3 weeks later, looking at you, old school Vince McMahon era WWE. But I am going to...
Big Show turn number 153.
Oh, no. People were saying a while ago, I don't know whether this was a rumor or whether something people just wanted to happen, but it's like, at one point... Actually, I can put this on you because you pay way more attention than I do. Was there not a thing... At one point, was this not supposed to be a no DQ match?
Yes, maybe. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. Because the whole conversation that happened a couple weeks ago was how do you have a no DQ match where logically Jungle Boy's friend would want to come and help him out, but he's the good guy, and everybody sort of wink, wink, nudge, nudge on Twitter was like, hey, what's Tyson Tomko doing these days? I'm not going to lie. Jurassic Express versus Christian Cage and Tyson Tomko. I can't guarantee it would be good, but it would be fun.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy's got to win this, eh?
Yeah.
Jungle Boy is a fucking star. Like, I mean, Darby is just kind of like super goth friends with everybody right now. MJF is quote-unquote missing. It's not cool to say nice things about Sammy Guevara anymore, even though he's fantastic. So of the four pillars...
Guevara. Yes.
Of the four pillars right now, Jungle Boy is the star.
Yes.
How has he not helped? I mean, I know he's been predominantly in a tag team with Luchasaurus, and the whole conversation about if you split them up as a team, what do you do with Luchasaurus? But Jungle Boy should have been at least TNT champion by now.
I agree to a certain point, but no. I can see within the next like 2 years at least, yeah, I can see him with a title. At least the TNT.
Cody held it 3 times.
Well,
But then,
not everybody is as good as Cody, you know?
yeah, most of them are a lot better. Anyway, most of them don't have a broken titty hanging off. Don't worry about
Look
it.
here. I have adrenaline
in your
my
soul.
Something. Cody Rhodes.
No. Adrenaline in my soul. I'm not quite as good as Adam Cole. Baby. Okay, you want to talk about AEW redeeming itself. A match that I was all set to shit on until they changed a couple of the competitors.
Yep.
Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and not Sanjay Dutt and Satnam saying, fucking Motor City Machine Guns, get in.
Turned that one on you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And again, it's to be serious for a second, it's the W. Morrissey, it's the Madison Rain, it's the Deonna Purrazzo, it's anybody else that I can mention that's been in Impact in the past little while. Any of these people that I've been enjoying on Impact the past little while, to see them on the bigger stage, like AEW, like WWE, however it goes, unless your name's Mickey James, in which case, fuck off. Motor City Machine Guns in front of an AEW sized crowd is going to be fucking great. Even if they all lay down on the floor and take an Amber Heard turd in the middle of the ring and leave, I'm still gonna be like, hey, Motor City Machine Guns got a big platform. That's gonna be awesome. I am interested in how they're going to portray them as heels because they're such a popular team. But other than that, I think the match is going to be a lot of fun. I will say FTR carrying around 3 separate titles, Wardlow just winning the TNT title, and none of them being defended on the show is a bit weird.
I agree.
I mean, obviously they're not going to defend the AAA or the New Japan titles, but like, let's be real again. Like, ROH is AEW's NXT. They could be defending those titles. Wardlow definitely should be defending his TNT championship as well. And yet again, it's another trios match on the night that you're trying to establish the trios championships as a big, exciting, unique thing.
Right.
But all that logic and paperwork aside, this match is going to be fucking awesome. Because I think we're going to see Wardlow double powerbomb the Motor City Machine Guns at some point, and that's going to be fucking amazing. And, I mean, finally we can get Jay Lethal, put some respect on his name and not just hanging out in the back with Great Khali, too.
Some respect on his name.
Yep. He wrestled in Ric Flair's last match, damn it.
Woo!
Rick, it's okay. You don't need to be awake for your last match.
I know it's not relevant to this. However, Ric Flair's last match inspired me.
Did he?
Yeah, it did. On my fantasy football team, I know. I'm sorry, Spaz. I know you're Canadian. Football's a sport we have down here in America. It's quite fun.
Hey, the UK fans are going to be mad that you're not talking about soccer.
Soccer sucks. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, football. No. Football. American football. My fantasy football team that I have plays tribute to Rick, as I also have a old-time GOAT as my mainstay of Tom Brady as my quarterback. So,
who's
the
that?
name of my Tom Brady, famous football player. Anyway, I know you don't know.
I mean, if you can get famous for hawking bags of air around.
I mean, hey, he what you call it? He not only does he hawk bags of air around, he deflates them. But that's another story, and probably 2 of your watchers will get that reference, maybe. Anyway,
you've seen the first Ace Ventura movie, right?
Yeah.
Laces out.
Exactly. Well, he doesn't place laces. Anyway,
I feel old. It's 'cause
my team name is Tom Brady's last match because he retired and he unretired. So, there you go.
Oh no.
Going forward, now we can talk about the Casino ladder match.
Not yet.
No?
I really want to ask you who wins this.
Which one?
Because the trios match, the Wardlow and
Oh,
FTR versus Jay Lethal and Motor
FTR
City Machine.
Wardlow. Have to.
I would think they have to, because you've got ROH champions on that team, you've got TNT champion on that team, but also they are very hit and miss right now with their relationship with Impact. Like, it's there and then it's not there.
Yeah.
So Motor City Machine Guns are a pretty fucking popular team. And as much as FTR are as well, nobody's saying that they're not, but Motor City people, I think a lot of people like me who like the Motor City Machine Guns and are going to be happy for them to be on that stage. I think there's going to be not a negative reaction, but a less than positive reaction if they just get squashed the way sort of logic would dictate. So I think there's room for error in there. In the fact that Jay Lethal also does have two other friends that could be out there at ringside with them as well. You could sort of write around it. I mean, I don't want to see the Motor City Machine Guns get on a big stage and automatically get squashed, even though, like, because FTR don't need it, right?
Right.
Like, they're carrying 3 championships right now. It's another one of those things of, like, they are the champions, but are they in this match instead so that losing doesn't hurt them?
Yeah.
Like, that's something to consider as well.
But the thing is, FTR and Wardlow, out of the 3,
yeah, I know.
none of them eat the pin. So
that is true. Some weird, exaggerated, like, bullshit count out. With the amount of extra people Jay Lethal could bring down to the ring with him, this is a match that, if I get enough good match out of it, I would forgive a shenanigans ending.
Right.
If I get enough good match out of it first. It's bad that I can't really think of who the tag team champions are in Impact right now, right off the top of my head. But I would love to see...
Isn't it the Good Brothers?
Maybe. But since WWE got really good, I haven't been keeping up with Impact as much as I probably should. If I'm completely honest.
For shame, Spaz.
But I just mean, like, FTR could always use another set of belts.
Oh, wait. The Impact champions are freaking Mike Bennett and Matt Taven? What the fuck?
Oh. Okay.
That's new. At least
Honor No More actually got some gold.
Twitter.
Honor No More actually got some gold. Good for them. I'm just thinking, if we continue this joke of FTR...
Holy fuck, it's true.
FTR, who work for AEW, get tag team gold everywhere but AEW, it's eventually just going to be a meme. Eventually... Because remember, we did that thing a while ago, like, Christian was in WWE and won the WCW title. He was in WWE and won the ECW title. He went to TNA and won the NWA title. He went to AEW and won the Impact title. Like, he never won the title where he actually was.
Right.
Like, if they do a tag team version of that to FTR, that will be cruelly funny.
True. All I know is the X Division champion's a pretty cool person.
Is it still Speedball?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, do some crossover there. Speedball versus Darby Allin.
Yes.
Fucking right. And
I'll borrow freaking Ace Austin too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, but Ace Austin and Chris Bay also make a really awesome tag team. Like, within the Impact branch of Bullet Club, they make a pretty good tag team. I will say, because I know he's trying to get booked everywhere, because I follow him on socials, to Tony Khan, to Triple H, to ROH, to AEW, to NXT, to WWE, book Aiden Prince, you cowards. Current Destiny Next Generation Champion. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Where are we going? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We are going to what AEW does with all the other people that they haven't already managed to fit on a card. We're doing a casino match in this. I'm a piece of shit. It's fine.
A little bit.
This time it's a casino ladder match. Okay, I love all the casino things that they do. I do. I love the Casino Battle Royal. The Casino Tag Battle Royal is a bit ridiculous, but I still like it. The Casino Ladder Match is basically Royal Rumble in the bank. But they're fun. I like them. But it definitely does feel, because they never announce them till the last minute. It really does feel like they go, who have we not featured on the card yet? Let's put them in this.
Yeah.
But I mean, a ladder match consisting of Claudio, Wheeler, Penta, Ray, Roosh, Andrade, Dante Martin, and the Joker. The Joker, baby. I mean, other than Dante Martin, that's a pretty fucking good match.
Yeah. Hey, Dante Martin's a good wrestler.
Dante Martin can fuck off. Dante Martin is only known for shit that everybody else on this roster can do better than him.
I think you're just mad that a 20-year-old is that good.
I don't care how old he is.
Exactly.
He can team up with Eddie Kingston, seeing as I'm sure their politics line up and all that sort of thing. Anyways, but like, there's nothing that he does. There's nothing that he does, and I'm not saying that he doesn't do anything. Let me be clear. But there's nothing that he does. There's nothing that gets pointed out to me when I say, what the fuck does Dante Martin do, that somebody else on the roster doesn't do 10 times better. What does Dante Martin do that Ray Phoenix doesn't do 10 times better?
It's all flippy-dippy shit to me.
I mean, it is a little bit of white noise, kind of like the main event of Dynamite. But anyways, moving swiftly on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, in the whole, like, multi-person matches with champions that aren't being defended, you got the ROH champion and the Pure champion in there. Now, I know that they're trying to make ROH its own thing. I get that. Right? But there's only been 2 ROH pay-per-views since Sweet TK took it over. So you would think, like, choose one of their champions and have it be represented on the big thing. Like, even, I hate to say it, hate to make the comparison, even WWE has had NXT championship matches at WrestleMania.
Like once?
Like once. Well, this is what I'm saying. That's all I'm asking for is once. Give us, like, a sample. Like, don't defend all the AEW titles and all the ROH titles on one show. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for, like, that little once drip feed.
Right.
Type of thing. And don't relegate your ROH titles to the Battle of the Belts shows, because the Battle of the Belts shows are poo, and they're taped.
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to let you go first, because I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say, and I have a slightly different idea. Who do you think the Joker is?
Sammy Guevara.
Oh, that's not who I thought you were going to say.
Who'd you think? You thought I was going to say MJF?
Yeah.
No.
Sticks himself in the match at the end of the night.
Yes.
Pulls a Seth Rollins.
Pretty much.
I mean, that would be fun. Like, okay, seeing as neither one of us has said it, but it's out there in the ether, like, that would be fun.
Yes.
But you'd have to explain where the fuck he's been since he cut that promo. Sammy Guevara, I wasn't thinking of, honestly. I thought he had been taken out of this show politically, so it kind of prevented me from fantasy booking him back in. I wouldn't mind that at all. I don't want Sammy Guevara to win this, only because I know he's going to lose when he goes for the championship. And when Sammy Guevara gets a title shot at the main title, I want it to be when he's going to win the title.
Agreed.
Like as a example, say CM Punk wins later tonight, Claudio wins the ladder match. You get Claudio versus CM Punk, and Tony Khan can, like, have a wank over booking the AEW title versus the ROH title. And then he squashes his own developmental brand, and we all, laugh about it a little bit. My take on this, only because in another brand, he did pretty damn good in ladder matches. If he's medically cleared, Adam Cole, baby.
That would be pretty great.
Because, I'm sorry, like I said before when we were talking about the Bobby Fish thing, I like that Adam Cole is here, because, Vince would have mucked him up on the main roster. They wanted him to be a manager.
Yeah, like, that's fucking smart at all.
Like, Vince wanted to bring Adam Cole and Keith Lee up to the main roster and have Adam Cole be Keith Lee's manager. Now, there's two things wrong with that. That means he didn't want Keith Lee to talk, and he didn't want Adam Cole to wrestle.
One of these things is not like the other.
No, these two things are both equally stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be thinking of Adam Wilborn's impression of Keith Lee's voice, but even still, it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. Indubitably! Anyways.
King of the mic.
King of the kazoo.
God, so stupid.
Yeah, but then he's got to deal with the eel because Andy Murray's grumpy. He's got a little bit of Sidgwickitis. It's fine. Right. Don't worry about it. Everybody listening to me is like, why the fuck are they still talking about what culture? And to that I say, because we can.
You flat fuck.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, you know, one thing that nobody really thinks about it.
Yeah.
Most of the world is covered in water.
Yeah.
And none of that water is carbonated.
Yeah.
Therefore, technically, the Earth is flat.
As fuck. Anyway,
I would really like I say, pending hopefully he's healthy and able and all those types of things.
Yeah, of course. So the only other thing I could think or see really with that, or with anything, is you bring in a ROH talent. So you bring in either Dalton Castle, possibly. Obviously, he may not win this match itself.
Yeah, but do you then set Dalton Castle up to get destroyed by somebody like Jon Moxley?
Yeah, it's fine. Dalton Castle with the boys against Jon Moxley. I'm okay with that.
I think what we need to do at some point, Dalton Castle versus, for one night only, Goldust.
I'm perfectly okay with that. In fact, I need it.
Although he couldn't use the name because it's probably trademarked, so his name would have to be like Dusty Gold or something.
I just use 7. Anyway.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So, no, I think if anything, it's either Sammy or, honestly, another good choice, Samoa Joe.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, and I hate to say this about somebody like Samoa Joe, but like we see him in a limited capacity for a reason. Like he's got some miles on his bump card. I don't know whether I don't know whether necessarily you want to
frequent flyer miles
on his bump card. So for that reason alone, and I'm not trying to be everybody's dad here by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think you necessarily want to throw him into a ladder match situation. And that probably makes me sound like a huge stick in the mud. If he wants to and he thinks he can, go for it. I would have concerns. Is all I'm gonna say. But yeah. So yeah, no, I definitely thought you were gonna go for MJF, but you've said Sammy, which makes me a little bit more positive about the card as a whole, because if that's true, that means he didn't actually get fucked, which is nice. Adam Cole would just be their way of letting us know that Adam Cole is medically cleared, which is great. I don't need it to be... typically the Joker is used to introduce somebody brand new to the roster, and we're getting to the point now where I don't think they can take very many more people. And that's not to say that, oh my god, everybody should go to WWE or anything like that, but their roster is pretty fucking full.
Yeah.
It's an awesome roster. And some of the talent you have your Dante Martins and your Jade Cargills. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But for the most part, they have I'm an asshole. I don't even care anymore. It's tired in here. But for the most part, they have an awesome roster. And there's certain people like Daniel Bryan, like CM Punk, etc., where it's no, if you have the opportunity to get them on your show, you get them on your show. That's fine. Actually, I just thought of something. Because somebody just suffered a pretty significant loss on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even particularly a fan of this guy because I've only seen him wrestle a handful of times.
Right.
What if the Joker is Will Ospreay?
I'm okay with that.
He seems like the type that would be able to find his way through a ladder match.
What if it's Naito?
See, I don't know enough about Naito to give you a reaction to that.
Oh, that'd be fucking sick. What if it's fucking Okada?
Oh no. Oh no. What if it's okay, like I know this is the more boring route.
What if it's Stang?
Okay.
Sorry.
What if they go the more, I don't want to say boring because depending on who they chose it could still be good. But what if they go a more WWE route and it's just like, you know how with the Royal Rumble occasionally, like somebody will have a match, but yet they'll still show up in the Rumble? What if it's somebody that's already fought that night? Like, what if it's a Hook? What if it's a Malachi Black? What if it's a Darby Allin? What if it's a Jungle Boy? We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's one of the Motor City Machine Guns? Like, I don't think we can necessarily go with the, if they've already fought that night, they're necessarily off the table.
Right.
But now we've driven that conversation into the ground because a conversation that I thought was going to start and end with MJF went with everybody else. Next one's going to be relatively quick though. Swerve in Our Glory defending against the Acclaimed. I feel like it's the Acclaimed. Like, since the Acclaimed has turned babyface with this weird Billy Gunn Club, like Billy Gunn's their dad and not the Gunn's dad storyline, I can see the Acclaimed getting it because there was a period in time where Keith Lee and Swerve were sort of teasing a break, like they had some tension, and then they seemed to pull it back together. What if when they lose on the biggest stage, it's used as a launching pad for the Acclaimed?
Yeah.
I feel it.
I am perfectly okay if the Acclaim wins it. I need that, actually.
I want to hear... I'm still a WWE guy, but I want to hear Max Caster come out and cut a rap. It's like, okay, here's your proof that this is the company that cares about tag team wrestling.
Right.
And then, oh man. So then you get the Acclaimed versus the Good Brothers versus FTR with 5 titles on the line. It's very tired in here. Can you imagine Max Caster, Platinum Max Caster and Anthony Bowens coming out with the AEW, Impact, ROH, AAA, and New Japan Tag Team Championships? Alright, I've gone way too far. It's been a long week.
It's getting tired in here.
It is getting tired in here. And we're not even... We got 3 more matches to talk about. Acclaimed wins.
Yes.
Next match, I'm going to say Ricky Starks beats Powerhouse Hobbs. I don't have much else to say.
New Orleans boy wins it and brings it home to NOLA, baby.
Sure. Who's NOLA?
New Orleans, Louisiana. The home of absolute Ricky Starks.
I will say some of the recent merch that they've put out for him, because they put it all over AEW's Instagram, some of the merch they have out for him right now is fucking ridiculous.
I'm sure.
Like, it looks like NXT 2.0 threw up more NXT 2.0 on NXT 2.0. That's how much color there is.
Just the way the man likes it.
That's how much color there is. That's how much. Okay, so Kenny and the Bucks are going to take the trios titles, and everybody's going to be like, yeah, and?
Yeah, and?
Okay, so, Rampage. We know the Rampage... I hate that they've set this up this way. Oh, there was the Dynamite tournament and the Rampage tournament, and then they're going to face each other, but they were 2 individual... No, they weren't. You did your tournament across 2 shows. Good for you. Dark Order and Hangman Page are going to beat the Best Friends tonight on Rampage. We know that that's going to happen. Here's my problem. And Guapo, I'm pretty sure if I gave you a pen right now, you could write down what I'm about to say because I've said it a lot. Who started AEW? What 4 names?
That would be Kenny Omega, Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, and what's his names?
Stardust.
Cody Runnels. Cody Rhodes. Final answer.
So we made the TNT title, and we put it on Cody Rhodes. We made the tag team titles, and we put them on somebody else so that the Young Bucks could look like nice guys, but we didn't waste very much time getting the titles on the Young Bucks. We made the world title, we built them some prestige with 2 ex-WWE guys, and then we put it on Kenny Omega, right? So, now, what do? We save the trios titles till Kenny comes back, so that Kenny and the Bucks can win the titles. And in the process, we bring it down to the Elite versus the Dark Order and Hangman Page, so that we can continue the false narrative that the best story in wrestling is Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
When it's just not.
No.
And so that we can give another title reign to the 3 remaining owners, or three remaining runners of the company. That being said,
mm-hmm.
during their brief time where they were associated with the Undisputed Era, because the Undisputed Era are awesome, the Bucks are much more tolerable to me now. My thoughts on Kenny Omega aside, he had pretty much everything wrong with him, and he's come back from those injuries, and he's in a prominent spot. He's in a division that apparently he had a lot of hand in putting together, so you can be happy for him from a creative point of view. You can be human to human happy for him that he's not holding his body together with, like, shoestring anymore. Very, very cool, right?
Right.
But the minute that we all knew, before he even came out, the minute the Young Bucks had a mystery partner, we knew it was going to be Kenny. We knew he was going to win the whole tournament. The whole tournament, to me, although the matches have been amazing, do not let me take anything away from the matches. The match has been amazing. The match with United Empire on Dynamite this week was great. But the tournament has a little bit of a pointless element to it when you know from the first bracket that you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing. And if you want to be really, really, really nitpicky, the combination of Silver, Reynolds, and Hangman is not the combination that got them to this point in the tournament.
Yeah.
So it's Hangman Page sort of jumped in on an already winning team. Now, Andrade trying to buy Evil Uno and 10 and then pulling out a taser on Dynamite was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. But it was all, again, like, as soon as the Dark Order was involved and Kenny and Hangman said, "No, man, I'm not even going to be in this tournament. I want this to be all about them." You might as well put a sign across his head that said, "I'm going to be in this tournament," which means my team's going to make it to the finals, which means people that love the Hangman and Omega story can sit there and have a wank until it falls off in their hand. None of this is to say that this match isn't going to be phenomenal. I like the Dark Order. I like Silver and Reynolds being put in a moderately serious position for once. That part's great.
Right.
And like I say, Young Bucks a lot more tolerable than they used to be, to me at least. I know a lot of other people think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's fine. But we've created yet another title situation so that we can tell more Kenny Omega and Hangman Page stuff. When, I'm sorry, I'm going to repeat it. The story of Hangman Page and Kenny Omega is they were buddies. They were tag team champions. They lost those titles. They fought. One guy won, one guy lost. One guy went on to become champion. The other guy went on a bender, got drunk with some jobbers and slapped a batch of baby batter up his wife, came back, and got handed the belt. That's not a story. That's a shitty rom-com. All this to say, I'm looking forward to this match. But again, again, I know I've used this thing with you before. What did me and Kristen say about Avengers, right? It's awesome. It's fun. It's everything you want it to be. But it breaks if you think about it for even a second.
You are not wrong.
Okay, now that I've been an asshole, you can gush about the match.
It's going to be a
by the way,
match.
If they swerve us and it's the Elite versus the Best Friends, I'm going to laugh my ass off.
It's not.
I would laugh my ass off.
It has to be the Elite versus Dark Order. And I hate to say it, most probably either Hangman. No, take it back. They'll make Reynolds eat the pin. So, yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, Elite wins.
But it's okay. But it's okay because the Elite are going to get beaten next week on Dynamite by the brand new team of W. Morrissey and the Gun Club. Lord. Oh, and there's more. There's more. There's more.
There's more?
There's more.
Okay.
We get the same match we got 10 days ago. Hey!
Yeah, we
John
definitely
Moxley,
do.
CM Punk. Okay, you go first.
I understand, but also I don't. But also, just fuck it. At this point, I really want Moxley to win because I want to see Chicago riot.
But I'm really, really worried that there's going to be more babies throwing around in that arena.
Only if Moxley uses them as a weapon. That or uses the baby to blade himself. We might actually get blood this match.
Especially seeing as CM Punk said, "Do you think you can manage to not bleed on me?"
Yeah, exactly.
But dude, okay, seriously, okay, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you're just taking the piss. You're just being biased." Like, how much sunshine have I blown up CM Punk's and Jon Moxley's asses since the inception of AEW? Have I ever had a bad thing to say about Jon Moxley, other than him being Agent Ambrose? But that's a joke. Since CM Punk came back to the company, have I been anything but complimentary? Like, I want to see this match. I do. Jon Moxley versus CM Punk, it's all good. You know, two of the best doing it right now. But it breaks if you think about it for just a second.
Look, put it like this. Side tangent. Is Rollins facing Riddle this weekend?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 3 members of the Shield fighting this weekend.
Yep.
Jon Moxley's the only one winning.
You really think Drew McIntyre is going to take that belt off of Roman Reigns?
He will take a belt off of Roman Reigns.
They're not dividing them though. Nothing's been announced.
They will.
The only thing, okay, if we're gonna go on a tangent, let's go on a tangent for a second. That match has the most opportunities for fuckery of any match that I can imagine in the past, I would say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, it's Drew versus Roman, who are 2 fantastic wrestlers.
Yeah.
I've already done this in my other pod, so people who have just listened to the other pod, you're going to have to forgive me for a second. You've got Karrion Kross, who just came back to the company, who's immediately sort of set his eyes and targeted on Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
You've got Kevin Owens, who's back to being prizefighter Kevin Owens, who's got his sights set on Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You've got the Usos, who are obviously in Roman Reigns' corner.
Yeah.
You've got Paul Heyman, who hasn't been on television because he's been selling an F5 from Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, but he might come back. Yep. You've got Sami Zayn, who's trying to become part of the bloodline, who Jey Uso can't stand, who's trying to be saved by Kevin Owens because we think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to take the tag titles eventually. You have Austin Theory, who still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. And you have Solo Sikoa in NXT, who's the Usos' other brother, who's rumored to be joining the Bloodline sometime in the next month. And since we're in September, the next month is now.
Yeah.
And he could show up in Wales. There's more what's going to happen around this match than what's going to happen in this match. But
yeah,
any forms of fuckery, any forms of DQ, countout, match stoppage, whatever, results in the champion retaining. So the only thing that makes me think it might go the other way is because they're over in the UK and because WWE doesn't know the difference between Cardiff and Scotland, they're calling Drew McIntyre the hometown guy in this match. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, just...
But also...
Not...
But also Riddle versus Rollins, and also on the NXT show, we're getting Carmelo Hayes defending the North American Championship against Ricochet, which is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, be good shit.
And we're going to watch Walter and Sheamus smack bricks out of each other.
Yes.
Anyways, back to AEW.
Back to AEW. Jon Moxley wins. LOL, and then MJF comes out and destroys both of them.
I want to be excited about this match like it didn't happen 10 days ago. I want to be excited about this match like it didn't happen 10 days ago.
Well, it did.
And it's another injury angle. I mean, like probably the last two matches, you got the Trios title match and this match, are both heavily hinged on injury angles. And like I said, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning of the pod. When you've got so many people out with legitimate injuries, there is an element of that that's a bit shitty.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. And we're going to see people throwing babies in Chicago. I don't know. This is a real down note because the match, for however much sense it doesn't make, and I think we're all hitting on the same notes when it comes to that, for all the sense that it doesn't make, the match should be great.
Yeah, it would. It should. It would, I hope.
Yeah.
Yes. But Jon Moxley wins it, LOL.
CM Punk wins. CM Punk wins because...
This time a John will win it in Chicago against Punk.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry.
This time we'll be able to see him.
Hey, you know why the jobber got put on the kickoff? Because he's the third best Eddie and the second best Kingston.
Best line ever.
That promo is fucking life.
That line made me pop.
That promo is fucking life. I really want Punk to win. And I think we talked a couple weeks ago on another pod. I
feel like I don't know if that was a worse insult to Eddie Kingston or if that was a worse insult to Kofi.
Well, no, because he's saying Kofi Kingston's better.
Yes, Kofi's better, but by what margin?
By a lot.
Oh.
I mean, not enough that he should have been WWE champion, and not enough that it was a terrible squash that he got killed by Brock Lesnar. But I would hope Brock Lesnar would kill Eddie Kingston as well. But politics would rear its ugly head once again.
I'm okay with the Kofi winning the championship. But that's another pod for another day.
We might be getting Conor McGregor versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I'll just throw that in.
The worst part is with Triple H in charge, I see it happening.
Right now, the tag team champions on my WWE 2K, and this is not with me having to create anybody, are Logan Paul and Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep, I'm buying that game.
Oh man, this wrestling's pretty fun right now. Wrestling. By next year's WrestleMania, when they rename it and it becomes WrestleGamia, I'll get you on for the pre-show.
I know it may not sound like it, but I am excited for the show. You can find me on Twitter at Guapo_504.
And you guys know where to find me or you wouldn't be here. This is a shit show. If you've made it this far in the podcast, please put it in a comment down in the comment section below. I've been Spaz. He's been Guapo. We have been your AEW All Out reality check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and this crazy fucker over here are tagging out. Bye, guys.
I just